Alright, so we are live. I'm about to start sending out the links right now. It should be eventful. You know what I mean? About to send Kaylee the link right now. Send Brian the link right now. Because they wanted to get their side of things out there. They must have seen yesterday's interview and they wanted to get their side of things out there. So I'm going to let them speak their piece on what was said and what areas concerned them the most. I'm going to shoot. Mary said she would like to come on also, so I'll send her the link. They saw the Empire stable of fighters, Brian Cohen, Kaylee Reis, Mary McGee. They must have saw, what was being said. They didn't like it, so they wanted to get their side of things. They reached out to me. They said, "Yo, what's good with an interview?" I'm like, I'm shoot. I'm free tomorrow. Why not? And they wanted to get their side of things out there. So let me just type this message. And they wanted to get their side of things out there because they saw what was being said. And we're just going to wait. We're going to get this side of the story, and we're going to chop it up on a couple of subjects. But yeah, yo. I was Goody Gatsby, Vic, JD, Iron Kong, Timmy Neal, and what's good? Did I misspell Feud, Timmy? I think I misspelled it. I be struggling with that word. I be forgetting if the E go before the U or if the U go before the E. I be forgetting. I'm old, dog, all right? Cat, wearing my jean jacket, cat. Say what you want. Wearing my jean jacket with my plaid shirt that you was making fun of. I like plaid. I've always liked plaid. I've liked plaid since the 90s when Fat Farm and Tommy Hilfiger had the overalls, and I used to wear the plaid shirt with the overalls. All right? I don't care. I'm a throwback, and I'm old. The beauty of getting old is you stop caring about stuff and you just do whatever you feel like doing. That's the beauty of getting old. And I'm getting old, all right? I wake up, I fart a couple of times, make my coffee, go take a piss. I love being old. It's real rap out here. And we gonna wait and see what happens, man. Jelena got beat up yesterday. I'm not happy about that. Admittedly, I should have adhered to the warnings that I was being given that like, yo, Erica might take that belt from her. So it is what it is. A quick word in Michaela. Hey, man, I reached out to Michaela's people for an interview. A lot of people always ask me about that interview. I reached out. I sent the email to her, I believe it's her booking agent. I was put in contact with who I'm supposed to speak to. I did that already. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's only so much I could do. I would love to talk to Michaela and get her side of the story, get some spicy sound bites to bring more attention to her career, to bring more attention to the Harper. I would love to do that, but it's only so much I could do. I'm not throwing it away. I just bought it 3 months ago. I literally bought this 3 months ago. I bought 3 of them. I bought the beige one, this one, and the black one. Making fun of my Wolverine jacket. I feel like Wolverine when I wear this jacket because I'm real hairy in real life. I feel like Wolverine. King with the claws. Mayor is in a funny situation. She is. And like I said, and I don't say it to knock her, it's just that I know that that's what's going to happen. A lot of people are going to look at who it is she is fighting because they see who she's not fighting, and they're going to have things to say. So it's like, well, it better be somebody good because if it's not Maiva Hamadouche and it's not Alicia Baumgartner, people going to have something to say. And we know it's not going to be neither of them. We know that she's not going to fight Alicia. We know. And that's not me condoning or condemning. That's just me saying that fight is not next. So people already seen everything that was said, and they're going to be looking at whoever she does fight through a magnifying glass, through a microscope, like, oh, so you walked away from all of that. That's what they're going to say. You and I both know that. What can be done? Feel me? That's what they gonna say. It ain't because of me. I ain't do it. I dig it, Timmy. It's a lot of people that feel that way. I gotta get Marie to help me with Maiva because I really do want to interview Maiva. I've been a fan of Maiva for many years. I think she's dope. I gotta get the translator on deck for Maiva because Maiva only speaks French. So I gotta do what I did with Sigolene and get Marie over in Canada to help me translate, help me and you know what we're gonna talk about if we do get Maiva. We're gonna talk about Mikaela Mayer, everybody's favorite super featherweight. That's who I heard it is, bro. I heard it's Erika Farias. And Erica was supposed to have a fight on April 9th, but it looks like it didn't happen. So that's saying that she's coming off of 2 back-to-back losses to Jessica Mccaskill to a Mayer fight, which could still be a hard fight. I'm like, don't sleep. It could be difficult. Jessica has power at 140. Does Mikaela have power at 140? I don't know. Is the fight going to be at 140 or is it going to be at 135? I don't think Erica can make 135. Not these days. She does look slimmer than I've ever seen her, but I don't know that she can make 135 and be fighting fit. I don't know about that. We're going to have to see. And that's if it is Erica. That's a rumor that I heard that it's going to be Erica. We're going to see if it is or if it ain't. Mikaela did say that she going to move up and have some fun. So, I mean, it is what it is. Now I'm gonna wait for Brian and Kaylee. I sent them the link via Twitter. So it is what it is. I'm gonna send it to them on Instagram too, just in case they didn't get it. Because it's not like Twitter actually gives you notifications. They don't. Instagram does. What's good? What happened to the link? Hold on. Let me get that link popping. Get it popping. There's the link. And then we're going to go to Brian. Because they was tight, man. They hit me up ASAP. They was watching. They must have been watching because they hit me up ASAP. Like, yo, what's good? Let's do an interview. I'm like, I bet. Joe Lazizi was good. Mikaela is not trying to fight nobody. That's how people feel, bro. That's how people is feeling right now. It felt like Steffi Bull's prediction about how it was all gonna go down. It felt like it's all coming true because it's like, well, yeah, if Terry's fighting Hyun-Mi Choi and she about to unify, like they said they was gonna unify, it creates a situation to where it's like, well, Terry fighting Hyun-Mi Choi. If she beats Hyun-Mi Choi, what's the expectation? That she also has to take care of Maiva Hamadouche? All right. If that's how you want to play it, don't come in here looking for no 40%. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't come in here looking, because that's what the feeling is going to be. To like, if we got to unify the division, right? We got to fight Hyun-Mi and we got to fight Maiva, right? If that's what you want us to do, don't come in here thinking you're going to get 40% or something. That's what the feeling is going to be. If there was a world boxing, I would pick 118 pounds. That's Shannon Courtenay, Yuli Hang Luna. Very soon, Dina Thorslin could be holding the WBO in that division. Let me see. That's the WBA, the WBC, the WBO. The IBF is held by Maria Cecilia Roman. That's probably one of the best divisions to do a tournament. Not just because it's 4 world champions, not just, but because they all scrappers. They all like to throw. You need fights that people are going to see it. They're going to be entertained by it. That's 118. 122 is good too. It is. But I don't know if you could get like Yamileth Mercado to be in a tournament. She's promoted by, I believe, Zanfer. I believe it's Zanfer. I don't know if you could get her to join the tournament. Daniela Bermudez is coming off that loss to Amanda Serrano. So, I mean, I don't know if she would be up for that straight off of that loss. That's I think, the first time she ever got stopped. She ain't never been stopped before. That's a fair point, Mario. That's a fair point that, yo, You got to put up the bread if you want to make things happen. Steffi Bull took a gamble on Terry, and it all worked out. But that's how it works. You got to gamble. You got to put up the bread, yo. After Choi, do you reckon Mccaskill? I think so, JD, because she's the mandatory. If she was saying that she was the mandatory, and I was like, how's she the mandatory if Katarina Sanders was the mandatory? The next mandatory won't be due for another 12 months. But it's possible that given what happened, because most people don't know what happened, that her old team screwed her over. They vacated the interim title without telling her, and she lost her mandatory position based on what they did. So my understanding is that she got in contact with Mauricio in the WBC and they worked something out. But even if they did, it hasn't been a year since Terry fought Katarina. It hasn't been 12 months. So even if they make LM the mandatory, it's not going to be due. That's what I'm saying, be real. All the heavy lifting. That's what I'm saying. They're like, you can't expect that they got to do all the legwork, right? They got to do all the legwork. And what you going to do? Ask for 40% once she got 3 of the 4? All right. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is, man. Ring City was real good yesterday. What's that kid's name? Angel Ruiz? That dude left hand was straight from hell, bruh. He knocked the shit out of Bobby. Knocked him right on his ass 2 times. I like Ring City. Shout out to them. Sean Porter and $1 Million Mel Herron on the 1s and 2s calling the fight, showing that there can be peace in the boxing cosmos. You had a PBC fighter on one side, a top-ranked fighter on another side, calling the fights. It was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. We'll see, because I have a feeling that Wasserman, y'all know who Wasserman, if Eddie, now that we see that Eddie is prioritizing moving Matchroom over to the zone, Wasserman, they might try to step in and strike a deal with Sky. The thing is that Wasserman don't have a stable like Matchroom got. Like, Sarlin has fighters, many European fighters. I don't know about how many Brits outside of Chris Eubank Jr. So could they reach a deal with Sky to show the other cats in other parts of Europe? Because I mean, it's really not an even trade. Wasserman has a lot of money and a lot of means, but all of that, you still need the talent to do the fights. You still need the talent to do the shows. And if they don't really got the kind of fighters that the Brits want to see, we'll see, man. It's fluid, man. It's like anything else in boxing. It's fluid. It's subject to change. It seems Top Rank isn't sold on Michaela. I mean, to me, it feel like they're experimenting, because if it was me and I developed a plan, they're like, okay, well, we as a promotional outfit want to start investing in the sport of women's boxing. I would have signed Alicia. I would have signed Alicia Baumgartner. I would have signed Tiara Brown. I would have signed Zarina McCoy. I would have signed them, because these is young fighters that got a lot of talent and a high ceiling, and they could talk. They talk real good, and you could get them to be known not just in boxing but also outside of boxing, because they all have unique stories and all of that. When I seen that Top Rank really just signed one fighter, I'm like, well, what you gonna do with one fighter? What you gonna do with one fighter? Just one? Come on now, it's mad girls running around here in the United States. That they could fight. They good fighters. If the Pac-Man versus Bud materializes, I don't really feel like he can, man. I mean, Keith Thurman is not. I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that truth. Keith Thurman, like it was a good win for Manny. It's not my intention to diminish his victory over Keith Thurman, but we know that Keith Thurman is in a certain place and Terrence Crawford is in another place. Like, they're in different places. And even way back when, in his heyday, Keith Thurman was always an injury-prone fighter. Remember that he got injured before the Sean Porter fight, and then he got injured at. It's like he stayed getting injured. So it's like it's not the same thing. Like, I don't really feel, and I stand by that, I don't really feel Manny could beat Crawford. Maybe if Manny was younger, maybe, but we ain't talking about that. We talking about now. Well, I don't think he can beat him now. All right, let's get it. Everybody, I want to introduce you to Brian Cohen, Kaylee Reis. First, let's start off with the nature of the feud. We know there's a feud. We know y'all got issues. Where did it start?
Do you want to take this or shall I? Or shall I just sit in the back and not say a fucking word?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to be like Rick and jump in the front and be like, hey, guys, listen to me. I'm the little gerbil, Rick Ramos. Go ahead.
So I don't know where or why my name was dropped in the content that it was dropped because I never said I wouldn't fight Mary Christina, even though they're on my team number one. And I don't know when I open my mouth and talk shit per se, because when I talked to you, you asked me who I thought was, top and pound for pound and who I'd like to fight. I've said for a while, maybe like 2 years now, I'd like to fight Jessica Mccaskill. This was before she even had the undisputed titles. Now she has something I want, and I want to fight. She has nothing to lose. She beat the girl I lost to twice, so it should just be a keep busy fight. So nothing against her per se, but my name was dropping a real fucked up content, so I'm just barking back. And I got blocked this morning, so the Twitter beef is for real. Go ahead.
Oh no! You summed it up. Like my whole thing is with Rick, man. Rick likes to chirp and chirp on like you interviewed him one time, and the moron said it's not a good idea to have an all-female card. That's because you have one fighter. The other fighter he has, he pays for her to get on cards. So I don't see why it's so difficult to have a female card or why it's so bad. Like when he talks, it's just like diarrhea from the mouth, man. And I think like he believes some of the shit that he says, and it makes no sense. Makes no sense. In the boxing world, Rick Ramos is equivalent to the piece of bread. This piece of bread, you just keep moving around to get to the bottom. That's Rick Ramos. He's just that piece of bread. He's like the irrelevant piece of bread in the motherfucking loaf of bread. So that's what I think of Rick Ramos.
And it's just a lot of things I want to ask both you and Brian about, not even exclusive to the beef, but I remember when I interviewed you, I asked you, would you be open to fighting some of your stablemates, because Empire has 3 of the 4 champions. Chantel's with Matchroom, but Mary, you, and Christina, y'all stablemates. But is that a possibility? And I remember you said you do it. I remember that. You said you would do it. Like, yeah, I mean, if the situation is business. So yeah. It was like,
I remember explaining that I know the strategy, all right, and I'll let you sum it up about playing chess and checkers and all the other shit. The business part of it, I'm understanding it more and more. Do I know everything? No, but I understand quite a bit. You know what I mean? So I know the strategy he's using, my team's using. It's not just him that I'm that runs the whole business beside my brand. Again, I have a brand, so I wouldn't mind fighting Christina or Mary. It's not personal. I'm not beating your ass in a parking lot. It's business. We have 3 titles on this side. Why wouldn't that? But there's also other options. I'm not just opting out not to fight them. Would I rather do other things? Absolutely, and save that for when it's necessary. But if it makes dollars and makes sense, and it's business at the end of the day. So I don't know where he had that comment. Number 2, the whole ticket selling thing. I don't know what the hell that has to do with the price of tea in China, because there's no crowds, nitwit, so it doesn't fucking matter with the ticket sales. And there's over 1.4 million people that viewed me and Cecilia Brækhus fight. So I don't understand that. And she fought on DAZN. Exactly. She fought on DAZN 4 different fucking times. So I don't know how this. I liked Kaylee Reis until she opened her mouth and talked shit. I didn't talk shit. When you asked me about the Cecilia Brækhus Jessica Mccaskill fight, what did I say? Did anybody want to see the first one? No. Did anyone want to see the second one? No. I'm not talking shit about her. She doesn't have boxing skill, but she has heart. She comes in angry and she's in fucking shape. She's like a tough woman. What she does works for her. Skill-wise, me versus her, I have more skill than she does. It'll be a great fucking fight. Styles makes fight. I ain't talking shit. I'm just spitting facts. And I said the same thing on another interview. Who would I like to fight? I even named her in the top relevant females right now in women's boxing. I said, I want a chance at them belts. That's it. So if he takes that as talking shit, then my dude, you bought as soft as a motherfucking baby's ass, because that wasn't talking shit. But he opened a can of worms, so now I'm going to talk some shit.
So I want to address this to you, Brian. You got 3 of the 4 champions. Am I right to assume that the strategy is to match your fighters against Chantel Cameron and have those conversations happened?
No, that's not the strategy at all. So again, you know, Rick Ramos likes to say, he plays he plays chess. Everybody plays checkers, whatever. I play Monopoly. I got 3 condominiums on Boardwalk. You know what I'm saying? I can go Katie Taylor versus her. I can go Chantel Cameron against Christina. I can go Cecilia Breckhouse or Mccaskill against Mary. You know what I'm saying? I can. It's not just one option. There's not just one highway. You know what I mean? That's why he's so small-minded. Monopoly, not chess. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get my fighters paid. I'm trying to get their name out there and paid. That's it. It don't always have to go through Mccaskill. It doesn't have to go through Breckhouse. It doesn't have to go. There's all. See, that's. I manage multiple females. He manages one. The other one, Summer Lynn, he pays for fights in Guadalajara for. So that don't even count. You know what I'm saying? I move champions. I move fighters. So there's so many different options. There's talk of a 140-pound tournament. You know what I'm saying? There's all different talks in line where they will have to fight each other. It's business, not personal. If it makes dollars, it makes sense to them. You know what I mean? My job, for my fighters is to get the most out of that belt, not just carry it around and go do meet and greets. You know what I'm saying? So that's the strategy around it.
Yeah, because I wanted to know, like, it's my understanding. I spoke to Chantel. Chantel is interested in fights with some of your fighters. One in particular that stands out is, I think she said Christina Lenarda too. She likes that fight. I know it's a good fight. And I wondered, did the people at Matchroom actually reach out to you to at least start that conversation?
No. So when we were in England this last trip with Ebony, which by the way, Rick Ramos even trolled Ebony, but see, the thing is, I don't think Rick likes that people have a lot more followers than Jessica. She's got like triple the amount of followers that Jessica has. That's number one. What we did speak about was her fighting Mccaskill, and he said he would have to check with Rick. So now we're just waiting on Rick to say yes to her. I asked about Cameron, and he asked about Cameron, and I said I'd much rather vacate her 140-pound title. Let Cameron and McGee fight for 3 belts. Let her fight for the 147 and do it like that. And he liked that idea. Again, this is Monopoly, man. You know what I'm saying? If I can move the little pieces around the board, I will. If I have to give her belt up for her to get a shot at the 147 undisputed, I'll do it. It just makes sense. You know what I'm saying? That's where
this proposition that was made. This was you conversing with the people at Matchroom in reference to Cali versus.
I don't deal with the people in Matchroom. I deal with Eddie Hearn directly.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. The conversation that you had with Eddie, like what we can do is we could take Kaylee's belt, vacate it, let Mary and Chantel fight for that for 3 belts, and what Kaylee could do, go up to 47, fight Jessica. That's the conversation that happened.
That's exactly the conversation. I got the text messages, the emails, the smoke signals, the fax machine. You know what I'm saying? I have everything from Eddie, and we're just waiting. You know, he was like, I have to check with Rick Ramos. So now the ball's in his court. You know what I'm saying? But I really don't think his cojones are that big. I mean, little gerbil-sized cojones.
Woo! This is a lot to process.
Let me just point this out too. It's been said that, well, none of the 140 pound is going to go up to 147. Let me get this straight. I started at middleweight. I have 3 titles at middleweight. I went down to 147 where I should have been fighting, and I went down to 140 where there was an opportunity during the pandemic to fight in a weight class to win a title, to have a bargaining chip. Again, we know how the business works. I know how the business works. I'll take a keep busy fight for 6 round for $3,000 if it means I'm gonna get another opportunity. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know the business. So it's not that I would never go up to 147. I will go back up to 147 where I like fighting. 140 was an opportunity to get another title, to possibly fight. And I love the fight with Cameron. We've talked about that. The British fans want that fight as well too. But if we have an opportunity to vacate a belt, get the 147 belts, and then maybe go back down to 40 when whoever has the undisputed there. There's a lot of options. Jessica Mccaskill is not the only option for me or for anybody else. And just because we have those 3 belts doesn't mean we're just, crabs in a bucket and walking around with belts banging into each other like idiots. There's a process. There's a process. And we understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So there's other opportunities. Even Michaela Murray just tweeted she might come up to 140 to have some fun with the big girls. There's a lot of
but I mean, like I'm gonna ask you about that, and I did want to ask you about that. That she said that. Do you think Michaela would fight you? Like you fought at middleweight, like you fought Christina Hammer. You've been up there with the big girls. You think she would fight you?
I mean, now who knows? I can make 140. She can make 140. She's 5'9". She's taller than me. If she come up to 140 and there's an opportunity, she's a dog, man. She talks that shit and she backs it up. So I guarantee if there's an opportunity for us, and I like Mccaskill because she talks her shit, she backs it up, she puts in the work, and she puts on a show. So absolutely, if that was an opportunity down the line, it made dollars and made sense, and we made an agreement. Fuck yeah. I don't just talk shit or talk the talk and don't walk the walk. I've had a long fucking career in this game. I've been in this game for over 20 years. Regardless, even if I wasn't boxing in the amateurs, I've been around a lot of people. So I know what the fuck I'm doing. So I'm not just some veteran journeywoman. No, I'm actually a current world champion that knows what I'm doing and have a lot of options. No one's banging on these other girls' dogs to fight them. No one's banging on my door to fight me either because nobody wants to fight me. Hence the reason when I went down to 140, we put an open, almost like casting call to who wants to fight me for this 140 belt. That's when that whole McCarter debauchery happened and that whole thing happened. She said she wanted to, and we had to resort to what we had to resort to. We didn't choose to fight Candy Wyatt. Candy Wyatt stepped up. She's a teammate. It is what it is. But I will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime if it makes motherfucking sense. Just putting that out
there. That's I got goosebumps hearing that. I got goosebumps hearing that shit. That being said, if opportunities, not that I think they will, because there's a lot of opportunity at 140. There's opportunity at 147 as well. But is it possible that you would also move up to 154? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, it's a possibility. Does it make sense right now? No, because 140, 147 is where I want to play around. You know what I mean? Have I fought at 54? Absolutely. If it made dollars and made sense, if the money was talking at 54, there's a lot of fights at 54 that I could take. But the route that we're taking right now is 140, 147, and the opportunities.
The only money fight at 154 is really Clarissa at this point. You know what I'm saying? You got many more options between 47 and 35. You got Cameron, you got Taylor, you got Breckhouse, you have Mccaskill, you know what I'm saying? So you have options.
Woo! All right. Now, the main thing I want to ask is, it seems that you guys have never gotten along in any capacity. Your team Mccaskill, where did the feud originate? When did it start, and how long has it been going on?
Personally, this is news to me because like I told you, I don't have beef. And so, at the end of the day, we're all in there trying to, we're doing what we love with a passion, whatever. I don't have no beef. The only beef I have is with stupid, I'm not even gonna say her name. Other than that, it's all business. I don't have any beef. So the fact that he just dropped my name and said he liked me up until I ran my mouth, then it's retarded, first of all, because I never ran my mouth. All I do is speak facts, and I know what I say, and I said what I said. So I have no idea where that beef. But now, since yesterday, the 21st of April, this is when my beef with him. And she's guilty by association. I don't have any personal beef with her. I don't even fucking know her. I said what I said about her, what my opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. I stated my opinion, as did he. But now they weren't supported by facts. She didn't say anything about me. He did. So that's my beef. I have no beef with her.
So my beef, I'm going to tell you, my beef started with him, came from Mary McGee. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to manage Mary McGee. Mary McGee knew that he was incapable of moving her. He started asking her to fight bare knuckle and all other shit, things like that. She came to me, he got his little panties in a bunch. He pooped in his diaper. And ever since then, it's been nothing but negative with him and I. And, another thing is, I have a reputation of being an asshole. I'm an asshole. When it comes to my fighters, I make sure nobody fucks with my fighters. Nobody talks shit about my fighters. Now, Rick Ramos made the biggest mistake in his life. He talked about my fiance. I got murder beef with him now. So it's a bitch slap on site.
So this is not just limited to. This is not just a professional rivalry. This is legit. Like, yo, I don't really fuck with you, and if I see you, I might do something to you.
No, I will do. I will smack the dog shit out of him. But he's the type, a little gerbil like him. You smack, you don't punch, because that's what he deserves.
All right, let's lighten it up a little bit. Let's because it's early in the morning. We all got kids.
No, baby, no. Hold on, it's 8 o'clock somewhere. It's 9 o'clock somewhere.
I dig it. Yo.
Let me say something to you. I'm gonna say something to you, man. Shout out to you for doing the job that you did, that you do for women's boxing. I appreciate everything that you do for women's boxing, not being biased. You know what I'm saying? Giving a good opinion.
Absolutely.
And you know what I'm saying? You're not like FMF, that little prick. You're not like him. You're not like Felipe Leon, another little prick. And you're not like David Avila that shows favoritism. So I appreciate everything that you do for women boxing. And that's coming from a guy that's been in the game for over 10 years, missed birthdays, missed holidays, missed graduations, missed everything. You know, I sacrificed a lot for this sport. So that's why I can talk the way I talk. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate everything that you do for women's boxing.
I appreciate that. We have the reigning IBF 140-pound champion, Miss Mary Merciless McGee, coupled by her stablemate. It's a lot of people that got a lot of things to say. I appreciate that coming from you, Brian. I do my best. I noticed there's a large pool of American talent that the American media is not talking about. We see that the Brits are having a renaissance, and that's very good for them. I'm happy for them. I'm genuinely happy for them. But it does bother me that there's enough media outlets here, enough fans that have channels, and they don't reach out to the fighters. They literally don't. And the fighters are accessible. We talk about the guys all the time, and the guys' stories is always the same old stories. I'm tired of hearing about the same old.
Yeah.
I'm tired of that. The girls.
And my thing is, man, don't talk about a single mother taking care of her son. Don't talk about an activist. You know what I'm saying? That's very, very, respected in the community. Don't do that, my guy, because that's like I feel like you're disrespecting women like that, man. Don't do that. I take it personal. Don't talk about a Mary McGee. Don't talk about a Kaylee Reis. Like, she paid her dues, just like Mary McGee did, my guy. And for him to come off like he knows everything about boxing, I know for a fact that Eddie don't even answer his calls. You know what I'm saying? Like, my little baby Yoda sock got more knowledge than he got. You know what I'm saying? My little baby Yoda sock. If you got questions about boxing, ask my baby Yoda sock.
Hey, let me get something. Let me let Mary in on the conversation.
Yeah,
Mary,
I had a hard time getting this link together. I'm here now.
all right. So I know that there's a rift between yourself, your team, and Rick Ramos and Jessica McCaskill. Can you just give me a little bit of insight on what that's all about?
Okay, I'm gonna break it down all the way from the beginning since little Rick is on his period and has a bad attitude. So I'm gonna break it down like this. Rick is upset because I wouldn't sign with him. Let's get that together. From day one, long before I won my world title, I was searching for a manager. I was talking to Brian. I was also talking to Rick. So he was working with Jessica, but Jessica hadn't won a belt yet. So I was listening to his conversation, which that's my job to shop around for what's best for me, right? So he gonna say to me, well, Jessica's getting ready to fight Erica Farias for the WBC world title. How about I get you a bare knuckle boxing fight? What? I wasn't interested in that. So as a manager, if that's the direction you're taking me in, that's not what I want. Brian told me in 3 fights, I can get you a world title. So out of respect, I went to Rick at Sam's Boxing Club and I said to him, well, I decided to go with Brian because Brian is talking about getting me a world title in the next 3 fights. And I really ain't trying to do no bare knuckle boxing. And he kind of had an attitude and said, well, I was talking to Brian about helping me out with Jessica. And I also was talking to him about signing you. Ask the little girl and he'll tell you, he'll act like he don't remember, but that's what happened. So after that, him and Jessica just had all these negative things to say about me all of a sudden. All of a sudden, Mary don't have a world title, so what would be the point in fighting her? Then, he says on your little commentary, right? Mary or the other 3 girls can't sell 20 tickets between the 3 of them. But he shows up at my fight and it's over 900 people there. Him and Jessica sitting in the audience to scowl me, but I can't sell 20 tickets.
And I've wanted, admittedly, I've wanted to talk to you, Mary, for a while because I see you've been in the game a long time. Most people don't really realize that. You've been around for many, many years. What made you come back to the sport after taking a brief hiatus from it?
Well, for me, I have been in boxing now. This year, make 21 years. I had ended up pregnant with my son, and at that time, and it's an issue that's probably arousing a lot of women boxers. Like, we don't have the time to actually sit back and be mothers. So when I got pregnant with my child, it was like, man, it's like boxing or this baby. And for me at the time, I had already been boxing 15 years. So I was like, I'm finna have my child. And so I stopped, I had my baby. And then I realized within myself, like I still had a lot of talent. I was still really young and still really good at boxing. So I'm like, hey, I could put my mind to this, get back in shape, come back and win a real title. I'm meant to be here. So that pretty much is my passion. It's what I love to do. But I also wanted to be a mother too. So I just took that time. I had my son and I came back to where I belong.
I see. See, that bit of it I never knew. I always wanted to ask you that. What caused the hiatus and what made you want to come back?
My pregnancy is what caused it. I had got and then I had a C-section. So with that, a year you're pregnant, and then with the C-section, that took a year to heal too. So
All right. Now, that being said, I have questions for both you, Mary, Brian, Kaylee. What I really want to ask is, why do you think it's such a? It feels like Americans don't want to expand their horizons to seeing girls fight, even though girls fight. If you from New York, you from Michigan, you from LA, you from Texas, girls fight. Girls have been fighting. Why does it seem like it's a tougher sell to an American audience than a European one?
That's a really good question.
I mean, from experience, like I told you before, I experience a lot more respect and more equality when I go overseas to Europe, when I go to UK, when I go anywhere but the US. With the males boxing versus women's boxing, because that's really what it is in the US, I really don't have a solid answer because I don't know. It's when there needs to be more eyes because the females can fight. Maybe there was a period of time where there was just not that much talent in female boxing, so promoters on networks worked away with it. Also with boxing too, male and female, all this pay-per-view stuff. I mean, they're starting to get to the regular networks, but the pay-per-view and paying $90 for this, nobody wants to pay that. People want to do flip through Spike Network and see a boxing match that's worthy of watching, not some, because that's what MMA does. So again, taking a page out of MMA's marketing book that they put it on, it's accessible to a lot more people in America as far as on TV networks. And then as far as venues and stuff, I can't even say that right now because we don't have crowds. You know what I mean? So the people come out to boxing matches. They support their locals. That's one thing, is that local shows, we'll get a full house every time in boxing. That's no matter what. It's a classy sport. It's going to be a sport to say. So what do you think? What's your answer?
So here's my thing, man. When that numbnut made the comment that they can't sell 20 tickets between them or something like that.
Yeah.
February 8th, we did a card in Indiana. There were 6 female fights on the card, right? There were 6 female fights on the card. Mary was defending her IBF. Christina fought for her WBO, and we had 4 other female fights. They're 30 minutes away, right? I'm talking about Rick Ramos and Mccaskill. They're about 30 minutes away. They could have came to support their fellow females.
I went to her last fight.
They don't support, right? They don't support female boxing. You know what I'm saying? They're all about lining their own pockets. You understand what I'm saying? So in regards to it's actually getting a lot better in regards to the U.S. market accepting female boxing. I think as you seen last night with the Jelena fight and the Cruz fight. You know what I'm saying? That was the main event. So I think things they're heading in a positive direction. When you have guys like Rick Ramos just basically taking a dump on the sport and saying there shouldn't be female boxing cards, and you know what I'm saying, people in lingerie at weigh-ins is negative. Let me tell you something. Ebony got one of the biggest contracts I've ever seen in Matchroom. So now Ebony Bridges is signed to Matchroom because she wore lingerie.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
With less fights.
Right. She doesn't fight like Mccaskill, like she's an unattended fire hose. Throwing punches everywhere or caught in a spider.
Unattended fire hose.
Oh shit.
Now that was a good analogy,
She fights like an unattended fire hose. You know what I'm saying? She has no jab. She has a right hand and a left hook. Easy. And not for nothing though, let me say this right here. Rick Ramos and Jessica Mccaskill, the only way you'd be considered a great trainer if you learn to walk backwards, shave the back of your head, and got a tattoo of Emmanuel Stewart on you in the back of your head. That's the only way you'd be considered a great trainer, my guy.
Mary. All right, let's go to Mary. Mary, Mary, what do you think the problem in this country is? Because the fact of the matter is, women fight. Women have been fighting. When I was in grade school, and my sisters and my mother, they used to girls fight. That is not some new thing that started happening last year. Girls been fighting. So why do you think it's been so hard over the years for people to accept it? Yeah, girls like the box. Girls like the fight.
Period.
Go to
Point
Walmart.
blank. Period. Point blank. The marketing, the promotion. Look at MMA. That's what it is. The promoter's job is to promote the fight. So if you're not promoting me, Eddie Hearns has 1 million followers. So I mean, he promotes Katie pretty well, but you know, at the end of the day, it's all about that. You have to promote me. Like I can only go so far without my team doing their part. So if the rest of my team isn't doing their part, then hey, I don't blame them for not really marketing Jessica. The fights are boring, but you know what I mean. Other fighters that have exciting fights that should be marketed, they're not marketed.
So from your view, it's a marketing and promotion issue. The promoters have to promote, and I do agree with that.
Like me and Jessica has had beef for 2 years. We should have been fought. We've had an issue for 2 years. I've called her out publicly. I've basically made posts. She made a post when I had a long time ago. When was this, Brian? 2019. I was having an issue getting the IBF world title. So I did what I had to do. I was going to do anything but give up. So I made a GoFundMe page because I'm like, I'm going to find a way to make this money. Jessica wanted to make fun of it. So she goes on her page and she makes a post and say, if you got to make a GoFundMe page, you sound with the wrong team, sis. So I went on her post and said, well, I wouldn't have to make a GoFundMe page if you fight me.
Now, at the time, Mary didn't have a promoter.
I didn't have the money, but I was willing to do whatever.
Right. So we were basically trying to do the fight in Gary, Indiana, in her hometown. So, you know, she did make a GoFundMe page, but not for nothing, though. I mean, the classlessness to make fun of a single mother that made it go.
You making fun of my struggle that you were just in. If Eddie Hearns wouldn't have gave you the opportunity, or Katie Taylor, or Cecilia, or anybody wouldn't have gave you a chance, you would have been in the same situation that I was in. But sis, you down to me.
And to that point, not to cut you off, Mary. To that point, if you notice with Mccaskill, is they try every way to market her. When she fights in Texas, she's Mexican. When she fights in Chicago, she's from Chicago. She's
Black
from
History Month. She a sister.
Yeah, she's a sister. Exactly. She fights in Black History Month. She's black. You know, and then they
nobody not say, but pick your angle, boo. I picked mine.
Exactly.
Ebony pictures.
I box. I might knock you out. I'm gonna fight you hard. They call me merciless. This been me 20 years. Who are you, Jessica?
You know what I'm saying? Then they try to run the route. Oh, she lived in a car down by the river. Nobody cares. It's just like Shannon Courtney beat Ebony. Nobody cares. Nobody cares who lived in your car.
Either you got it or you don't. She didn't fought, wait a minute. Let me say this. She didn't fought 4 times on Matchroom. 4. Yeah. Ebony fought once and got 10 times the follower. I haven't had one fight on Matchroom and got more followers than her. Let me get my shot. That's all. They talk. Rick talk all that junk. And the only reason I'm bringing this up, and I say this in the most humble way, because he disrespected us. He said we can't sell more than 20 tickets. Every last one of us more marketable than Jessica, though. We just haven't got on Matchroom yet, sir. But the minute I get my opportunity, trust me.
Well, that's what I want to ask.
Also, to that point, when Mary fought in Indiana, place was sold out. When she fought at the Mohegan Sun, place was sold out. When I did a fight for Christina Lenardatu in Greece, it was the first world title fight ever in Greece, sold the stadium out. So the 20 ticket shit, my guy, that's why you have one fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I don't even count the Summerlin because you buy her fights at a taco stand in Guadalajara somewhere. So that shit don't even count. Or Pocatello, Idaho, in a potato field somewhere. That shit don't even count. And to have the undisputed world champion and not the man that you have your other fighter on the card shows that you have no cojones. And the cojones you have is the size of a gerbil. I'm done.
Okay.
All right. Shit, man. This a lot of shit.
It's like he knew when he said something about me, I was coming. We done went through this 3 times, buddy. 3 times. I'm tired of you. I try to be quiet and be humble and let you and Jessica have y'all time, but we done went through this 3 times. How do you be the undisputed champion and the world still don't talk about you? Tell us that. Why you talking about us not selling 20 tickets? Tell us why the world don't care that she beat Cecilia twice.
Nobody cares.
Oh my God!
What's your angle?
How do Ebony with a rack of titties get more followers than you and you undisputed? I stop.
No.
This is let me just interject. I just want to interject This
Yeah,
is
she can
why
fight
I've
too, but
wanted.
I'm just saying, she undisputed.
This is not now. Y'all know I'm Switzerland. Y'all know I'm Switzerland. But this is why I
Neutral,
always
neutral.
wanted to get Mary on, because a lot of people don't really realize Mary, Kaylee, Christina, and I got the opportunity to talk to Christina maybe 2-3 months ago. These are very marketable fighters, and my only goal is to use my little channel so that people can see, like, yo, these are people you would like to talk to. These are likable people, compelling people. I'm very happy to have Mary on. Now y'all see what I've been seeing for, like, I found out about Mary maybe 2 years ago. Did the research, like, oh shit, she's nice, man. So I'm just happy to have Mary and Kaylee on here, and you, Brian, at the same time. But
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
y'all know I'm
And
Switzerland, and I don't want to play a party to nothing. I'm just here to provide the information.
No. And let me say this, my guy.
We get that.
Let me say this: you do a hell of a job. You're not like the other boxing channels, the fuck my fuck channel and shit like that. You're not like them. You play favoritism. Again, you're not like the other guys that I mentioned. Dude, you do a good job, and that's no bullshit. You know, I shoot straight from the hip. You know what I'm saying? If you were a shithead, I call you a shithead. But you definitely do a good job, and you raise the platform for women's boxing. And I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, because that's what I wanted to do. But at least now we know, at least we have your side of the story. That my understanding is the reason that there's negativity as far as what you guys are saying is that, well, they wanted to sign Mary, and when she didn't sign to them, they started talking crazy.
And he gonna make it seem like that's not the issue, but that's what the issue is. Period. That's where it started. Me and him was cool. Me and Jessica was sparring, things of that nature a couple years back. Until that happened, I'm not stupid. I read between the lines. It's okay. You a little salty. I'm a good fighter. You know what I mean? Okay. But I made my decision where I wanted to go, and I told you respectfully. So respect that as such. And then also he gets mad because I want to fight Jessica. Why not? Why not? We supposed to fight the best.
That's what we in here to do.
And my thing is,
how are you mad?
My thing is too, dude. My thing is like Rick likes to pop off, right? He pops off a lot. Boom, 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 runs his mouth. Soft as cotton, because then he'll block you. He's soft as baby shit, yo. And like I said, you disrespecting my fighters. You disrespecting Mary. You disrespecting her, who is also my fiance. We have murder beef, my dude. We got murder beef.
I want to say this and say that. Like, he got on here speaking for us, saying that we don't want to fight each other. No, we're just as smart as you. We have a plan, like you had a plan. You had a plan that you planned the way you placed Jessica. So it was a pandemic, my dude. That's the only reason we haven't fought.
But I did. Huh? But I did, though. See, that's the thing I don't understand.
But I thought at the beginning of it. But it was like, what do you want us to do? Just jump out here reckless because Jessica's fighting? Like, okay, she's fighting Cecilia 2 times under Eddie.
Because they had a rematch clause and they had
There you go. It's a lot of fights that should have happened that hasn't happened over the last year. Everybody.
I'm still waiting for my rematch with Cecilia. That was supposed to happen. I mean, people still believe in the fucking Easter Bunny.
If Jessica beats Cecilia, you beat her. Nah, I said it. If Jessica beat Cecilia that day, you knocked her down twice, you beat her too. Jessica ain't even pinch her, barely, and they say she beat her twice. But you knocked her down. You pretty much knocked her out twice. Had her wobbling during the fight, but
I laid the blueprint. I laid the blueprint on how to beat Cecilia. Everybody's beatable. Everybody's beatable.
You didn't make no blueprint. You beat her. And they just didn't get it.
It's wild out here. Now, everybody, I want to get y'all to calm down a little bit. I wanted to ask y'all about a separate subject that I see as a prevalent subject going on in the sport of boxing right now. Christina Hammer is attempting to qualify for the Olympics. How do you guys feel about that? That she's a former world champion, bundles of professional experience, wants to try her luck as an amateur. How does that look to y'all?
I'm gonna answer this one. What's Christina Hammer's style of using a 20,000 foot ring and running, and she has an amateur style, so she actually will really progress and do well in that sport because she has an amateur style. You know what I mean? And she just fights little like no name fighters and gets titles handed to her by the Europe sanctioning bodies. So that's fine. I think she's gonna do good. Do I think in general that should happen? No, I don't agree with it. But I think her style, for talking about Hammer in particularly, yeah, she's gonna do great because she runs. She has skates on. So
but do you think it's unethical? Because I've talked to a lot of people about this. I get a different answer every time. Some people think it's unethical, right? Because you got the pro experience. I've talked to other people that say they'll say that, well, you know, the pros is different from the amateurs. The amateurs is about points and volumes. The pros is about hurting somebody. So just because you was good as a pro, that don't mean you're gonna have an advantage as an amateur. Mary, what do you think about it?
I agree with you on that. I mean, I agree with Kaylee too. It could be either way, but it's some amateurs out there that's coming up that are really good now. Like from back in the day when I started, it wasn't a lot of us, but nowadays it's a different game.
But do you think it's unethical? Like, do you look at that and say, like, man, you shouldn't be doing that? You fighting them young girls and the amateurs.
I mean, I just feel like going backwards is like, why? For me, like, it's like, hey, I ain't gonna say I missed my shot. It wasn't there for me. So with that being said, I'm dominating where I'm at. I don't want to go back and start over again. This is where I'm at. When they come out the Olympics, we have handled it that way. So that's my opinion. I have no interest.
Yoda. I think Jessica could beat everybody. Jessica can win. Baby Yoda says yes.
And you know what? I want to say this. I want it so bad to be like be able to celebrate her, but they made it hard. They wanted everybody to hate them. Like I would have still worked with her, sparring. We 30 minutes apart, 2 world champions. You know what I mean? But it's like he's so disrespectful towards me. And I really believe it's because of that moment of me not signing with him. He's so disrespectful and rude and talks about me behind my back. It's like, can't nobody even celebrate your girl. Like, I'm gonna make this video of me at her fight. I'm cheering for her at certain points. I'm cheering for Cecilia too. But, you know, the overall fight, because I'm like, I'm trying to change who I am and be more supportive towards women boxing. But every time I try, here come this dude. And it'll never be Jessica. She sit back there like a little puppet and don't say nothing.
Yeah, she don't say nothing.
Half a little bit, but she don't have nothing to say. Speak up for yourself.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's making it real hard for anybody.
Because as Rick Ramos and Jessica Mccaskill, do they remember that time I sat 6 feet behind them at that fight in Gary, Indiana, and I was yelling at them and they ain't turn around and say nothing.
And I'll send you that video.
But they so tough though.
I'll send you that
video. They always talk about me, then block me and run from me.
Let's talk about YouTubers that want to box. Let's talk about Ben Askren and what's the kid, Jake Paul. What do y'all think about that? What's y'all all experience in the industry? Brian, you used to fight. You now train and manage fighters. Kaylee, you're a fighter, world champion. You also help to train fighters. Mary, you're a world champion. How do y'all feel when you see a YouTuber go out there? They got all this money, all this exposure. Does it bother you? Does it not bother you?
Listen, let me just take this, and then the two ladies can take it. My thing is, man, you even had Chris Cyborg comment on your last video. You know what I'm saying? About Rick Ramos jumping in front of the females. You know, jumping in front of Jessica and answering. Listen, any attention on the sport, be it bad or good, it's publicity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's kind of shitty that they're getting paid as much as they are for females that work as hard as these two do. But still, it's publicity. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I mean? You got Jessica Mccaskill that listen, man, wouldn't make it past the first round of the Golden Gloves in New York fighting for a world title. To be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, she couldn't beat Christina Cruz. Christina Cruz boxed her ears off. You know what I mean? But, again, going back to Jake Paul and Ben Askren, listen, man, they fought on Triller. It got publicity. It got publicity for the sport. It is what it is, man. You had Snoop Dogg announcing. You know, you can't be mad. It's entertainment.
So at the end of the day, it's entertainment. It's entertainment business. They're just taking an approach to boxing that they want to take it. They're not comparing it. I hope people, I think people get confused that they're trying to compare it to like a world title, world class Canelo Triple G fight. It's not that. It is what it is. It's a different genre. Triller is what N1 is the NBA. It's a different genre of boxing. It's an entertainment business. I'm not mad at that entertainment. And I gotta say something about Jake Paul. Although he's YouTube and all that, that man puts in the work. He puts in the work. So I
wanted to get your eyes on it. That I'm like, yo, I don't like. I'm just Joe Blow that's a boxing fan. But when I seen him throw the 1-2, I'm like, yo, are you all right?
He
look
put
all right.
he put in the work, and cool. But it's when people start trying to compare, or if he starts trying to compare himself to like a Mike Tyson or something, to somebody who's been in the game, keep it where it's at. It's a different genre, and you're gonna get a different type of fan base that now is gonna start Googling real female fighters, real male fighters that may have not watched boxing if they had not tuned in to watch Snoop Dogg commentate a slapping fest.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just leave it where it's at. It is what it is. Just don't stay in your lane, Trilla. Just stay in your lane.
That's the thing that Trilla. I just read yesterday an article that Trilla is trying to put together actual boxing fights. They got French on Cruz, unified champion 168, Eileen Cedar-Rules, unified champion. And I'm like, well, if Trilla gonna do stuff like that, then I'm with it. Because I didn't think
do look good fights. They
So you got to look at it. The guy Peter Kahn manages. French on Cruz. So he's one of the matchmakers for Triller. So of course he's gonna throw his. You know what I'm saying? Which is good. So, good for Franchon. You know what I mean? She's gonna be seen by more people. Maybe she can get an endorsement deal. You know what I'm saying? She get the little glue in the wig thing going and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's good.
I never would have known. I didn't know that Peter. We just got a jewel right there. I didn't even know that Peter.
Yeah. He worked. And listen, Franchon's a sweetheart. Her and I had a little bit of beef before, but we're good. You know what I'm saying? Good for her. She's going to be seen by thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. You know what I mean? Good for her. Cedar-Rules is a tough girl. She beat my girl, Napoleon. You know what I mean? So that actually is a good fight on Triller. But then you might throw in like a Steve Cunningham or Frank Mir fight. Obviously, Steve Cunningham is going to destroy Frank Mir. But it's okay. It's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? It's almost paralleling the lines of WWE, of wrestling, professional wrestling, which is fine because if you ever been to a WWE event, them places sell out.
On a Sunday.
It's exactly like that. That model, they sell pay-per-views. They always sell out wherever they go. They got to the point, and I didn't even realize this till like last year. They got to the point to where Saudi Arabia wanted to have a WWE card. I'm like, what they know about WWE? And
Yo. So they made a $1 million deal with the WWE. Because believe me, I follow it. She could tell you. I listen to everything. You know what I mean? They did $1 million deal with WWE. They have to come there once or twice a year. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with Triller, man. You can't be mad at them. Look, Triller outbid Top Rank for the Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos fight. You can't be mad at them. You can't be mad at them for the undercards that they want to have, man. Shout out to Triller. Shout out to Peter Kahn. You know what I mean? Because they're doing big things. They're taking boxing in a different direction. Just like, I'm going to tell you this, just like Feldman is doing with the BKB, the bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah.
Her and I rented that one time. And it was a cross between UFC, WWE, and boxing. It's an amazing event. You know what I'm saying? And Feldman is from Philadelphia. I know the people, you know what I'm saying? I know his dad. I know the whole family. I fought on Damon Feldman's undercard. And David Feldman, which is the brother, is doing an amazing job with that bare knuckle boxing, man. So
and they're throwing real fights on the undercard of Triller. Like there was a kid that's from Connecticut, from my local, is up and coming, which is a great opportunity for those undercards from the 6-8 rounders to throw on because people are gonna watch it anyway, maybe to see Snoop Dogg or whatever, but they're gonna get exposure to other fighters. So as long as they keep moving along, staying in their lane, and giving opportunities to real fighters, if they're gonna have that boxing on, man, more power to you. Do your thing.
Yeah, because that's what I wanted to segue into. That like, if Triller, what I see that they're doing for Franchon is like, which is kind of the role I wanted them to fulfill. That sometimes you need somebody to put the bread up to make a fight happen. Triller could be that. Like, you know what? If you want, these two girls to fight, they're both world champions. Y'all put the bread up. Y'all got the platform. We got to fight. Problem solved. So if Triller can be that, I'm with it. If it can be that,
I'm going to sprinkle a gem on you. Pretty soon you're going to hear about Amanda Serrano and Cruz.
Really? Amanda? Wait. Amanda and who?
The girl that just beat Jelena last night.
Oh.
I mean, before Amanda got mad at me, and she's still, I'm pretty sure she's still mad at me. She told me that. She was like, yo, Cruz is going to beat her. I didn't want to listen. I wanted to look at the fight through rose-tinted glasses because I love Jelena. I've loved her for a long time.
I love Jelena, man. I love Jelena. You know, truth be told, 9 years ago, I took Melissa Hernandez to Canada to fight Jelena on her birthday, and Melissa actually beat her. So I've known Jelena for years. I've known Jelena's trainer for years, the one that's in the coma. I've known Jelena's trainer's daughter for years. So, you know what I'm saying? That fight last night was kind of like hard to watch.
Because I seen, and I didn't see it when it happened, but I YouTubed it because I became interested in Jelena many years ago. I'm like, yo, this girl can fight, I seen her when she fought Melissa Hernandez. I'm like, wow, that shit, because they fought more than once.
Yeah, they fought twice.
Wow, they was going at, and now Melissa about to fight Chantel. Nothing against Melissa, but I'm not going to bullshit. I ain't going to lie. Chantel's a bad motherfucker. Tough fight, very tough fight. It's
tough fight, but I'm gonna tell you this, Melissa. Melissa was the first female I ever managed. Truth be told, you know what I'm saying? There's no sparring for Melissa. Melissa has that weird, awkward style, man. She has like a, a female version of a Pacquiao style. I'm not saying she's as explosive as Pacquiao, but you can't really train for her.
She move a lot.
Yeah.
And her last fight with I think it was Selena Barrios. And if anybody would have looked at that on paper, you can be like, man, Melissa about to get like, nah, she beat the shit out of her.
No, good
when Melissa's in shape, Melissa is a monster. And I believe that this fight motivated Melissa because money motivates people.
Right.
I think this fight motivated Melissa, and I know who she's training with in Gleason's. She's training with a guy by the name of Leon Taylor. Leon Taylor trained my other fighters, Ronica Jeffrey, Melissa St. Ville. Leon is a hell of a trainer. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So former professional boxer. I think it's actually going to be closer than what a lot of people think it's going to be.
Yeah, Melissa could show up how she went in her best, and she still got it, man. And I think that's going to bring. I think people are like, I don't think it's a good matchup. I think it's a great matchup.
No. I have the same opinion that you have. That as long as Melissa is up for it, if she's up for it, because that's what it's going to. You got to be up for it. Because I remember the Barrios fight. I looked at the shit. I'm like, Melissa Hernandez. I thought she retired. I see shit, and I watched the Barrios fight. I'm like, yo, she made Barrios look like she ain't ever boxed a day in her life.
Yeah. I know, man. She made me start to really, really pay attention to women's boxing because she was hot when I was just making my pro debut. So, the days of MySpace, I was following down, just wanted to know who was who. So she was one of the reasons why I really started paying attention to women's. I love her style. You know what I'm saying? That's another one of my favorite fighters. So shout out.
So that being said, all right. Now I got to get to your careers and what people want to know. Any tentative fight date for Mary McGee or any tentative fight date for Kaylee Reis?
August 14th, Atlanta, Georgia. Mary McGee, Kaylee Reis, same card. They're actually going to be fighting on the same card, August 14th in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah,
now, Christina Lenarda too. Any tentative news about Christina?
Unfortunately, there's a problem in Greece. They're unable to go into the gyms and such. So Greece is in lockdown. Still lockdown.
Wow.
Yeah, so
they can't leave.
I spoke to Christina last week actually, and they're literally still in lockdown. If they're caught in the gym, they get fined.
Like
wow.
Yeah. So in short of bringing her here to America and have her stay here in Philadelphia with me, there's no fight date actually set for her right now. And she's actually okay with it. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? But these two should be fighting on the same card August 14th in Atlanta, Georgia. So this one is slated to fight Erica Farias, and she's gonna fight Mary's gonna fight the number one contender Bustos.
Wait a minute, wait. Say that. Wait. Rewind that. You said Farias?
Erica Farias and Noelle Bustos.
Wow. So, see, you dropping a lot of gems, Brian, because you know what a lot of people thought? A lot of people thought they seen what was going on with Michaela Mayer. Somebody told me, yo, she going to fight Erica Farias. I'm like, you sure? Because no. So Kaylee's going to fight Farias.
That's why I want to fight.
That's the direction that the promotion is going in. An official offer has been made to Farias. We're waiting for the comeback. She has a promoter named the last name is Rivero, Natalia Rivero. She's not like really good with returning messages. And actually, it's the same lady that represents Bustos.
And Bustos fought Cecilia.
So
Is that the same lady that we had to go through for my title?
There you go. It's the same lady we had to go through for your title. So it's very difficult to get a hold of them in Argentina, but that's what we're working through right now. We have plenty of time. If we need to readjust, we'll readjust.
Well, that's very good news. I'm glad Mary gonna get the fight. I know it's been a while since you had a fight. Kaylee, I know it's been a little while since you had a fight too. It's been a pleasure to talk to y'all. I'm gonna leave y'all right here, and y'all are always welcome to come back, talk boxing, promote your fight, tell us what's going on.
Oh, I'm gonna be back.
And not for nothing though. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you this, man. We want to invite you to the fight. I'll get the plane ticket. I'll get the hotel. Come to the fight and report live on the fight. How's that?
I'll say this. Outside of boxing, which is my little moonlight dream job, I actually have another job that I do, but it's definitely.
Say you're sick.
Hey, I got kids, man. I got kids
too.
Hey, we all do. I do too.
True.
Oh, well, we're gonna have
You got to make time for what you love now.
We'll talk. We'll definitely talk because it's definitely something. It's what I'm building towards. It's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get to the point where I'm at the fight, call a fight. That's what I'm trying to do. You know, so it's definitely something I'm gonna look into. It's definitely something we're gonna talk about. It was good having all of y'all on. I hope to have y'all back on some other time. Best wishes to all of y'all.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.